Here I am. I'm back again. trying to put out some. I'm trying to put out at least 2 or 3 videos a day today. so, um, this video I want to talk about. I want to address them. Like I said, I tell you guys I'm passionate about the black community. Very passionate about the black community. But I'm also passionate about the women community. I'm passionate about the women community as well, and what's going on with as far as the issues that involves women and the things that, because I'm a woman, and so I like to talk about the issues that us women be having to deal with or have to think about and stuff like that. So this video, I'm going to talk about women. I'm gonna title this video, "Ladies, Please Don't Be Thirsty." um, I'm just hearing. First of all, I've heard of some cases here in the town that I live in, and I've heard of these these cases nationwide, pretty much, of women taking guys in. They're single parents, and it's women of all races. It's not just black women. It's women of all races that are actually doing this. They're a single parent. They're single moms, and they're hooking up with guys, and they're moving the guys into their home, and the guys are abusing. excuse me. The guys are abusing their children, or he's killing their children. They trust the guy to watch the kids or whatever, or the child, and the guy is abusing the child, and the guy is killing the child. And I just heard a case of a little boy, and it just breaks my heart. He's such a cute little boy. Oh my God, this little boy was so adorable. I think he was a 2-year-old boy, and the man, I think it was the lady's boyfriend. The lady told or the man told the little boy to hold his hands up, and while he holds his hands up, he was hitting the little boy, and he hit him so hard that he killed the little boy. I don't know if you guys heard that story. Let me know if you've heard that story. But that's just a recent story that I just heard about this just recently. And I know I've seen it on Facebook, and they showed a picture of the little boy, and the little boy is so cute. Oh my God, he's so adorable. It's like you look at him and you think, okay, how can anybody hurt this little precious little boy? Because he was just so cute. He was only 2 years old. So the man told the baby to hold up his hands, and like he gonna fight, and then he just kept hitting him, and then he killed him. And I think this was the mother's boyfriend that did this. And I've heard, I don't know about you guys, but I've heard hundreds of cases like this. Well, I won't say hundreds, but I've heard many, many, many cases like this, where the mother has moved in a single mother, moved in a guy into her home, and he winds up abusing the children or killing the children. And I'm really, really, to be honest, I'm really, really getting tired of hearing about cases like this. I'm really, really getting tired of hearing about cases about women moving men into their home and letting the men kill their kids. Well, they're not allowing the men, but the men are killing or abusing the children. And I'm really, really, I am so tired of hearing about cases like this. I'm just I'm at my wit's end. This particular case took the case for me because the little boy, you should see the picture. I don't know, you guys maybe you guys can Google it. If you haven't heard about it yet, maybe you can Google it or whatever. But the little boy is just so adorable. He's so cute. And he told him the baby to hold his hands up, and he punched the baby and killed him. And he just killed him, murdered him. And it just breaks your heart. I'm so, this stuff, it just makes your heart sick. It just makes you heart sick when you have to read stories like this, where it's always the same scenario. It's always the woman's boyfriend, the mother's boyfriend, that did it. So I have some questions about this. These types of situations, I have questions in my mind. And the questions that I have in my mind is, me being a single mother myself, the questions that I have in my mind is, where did they meet these guys? First of all, how long did they talk to these guys before they allowed the guys to come into their home and interact with their children? Those are questions that come up in my mind. How long did you know this guy? Did you really, really take the time to really get to know this guy and to really discern this guy before you allowed him to come into your home and interact with your children? Those are the questions that come up into my mind. Where did you meet this guy at? Did you thoroughly check this guy out? I tell the young ladies all the time, you got to do background checks on these. They got all kind of check sites where you can check people's criminal history and stuff like that. You have to pay a bit of money, but it's worth it. I mean, you might have to run. You can do a criminal, a sexual. To check to see if the guy is on the sexual offender list. That check is done for free. You can do that check. Literally, you can actually do that check for free. I've done that check before, and you can actually do that check for free. You can check to see if the guy is on the sexual offender list. First of all, do that check. Then you might have to pay a little bit of money, but you could do a background check on the guy. Now, if you live in a small town, you might be able to ask around. I mean, not everybody knows everybody, but you might be able to ask around and see if people know this guy and what this guy is about. But there's ways that a woman can check a guy out. And I used to do online dating years ago. After I had my youngest son, I got my first computer. And I had some pictures taken. And, I did a little bit of online dating. I posted my picture. I took some pictures in this black dress. And it was quite of an ego booster for someone. I just had my son. And so it was a little bit of an ego booster for me. And I had a black dress on, and I took some pictures in my black dress, and I posted it online. And I got over 60 something hits on that thing. And I met some guys, and I had the opportunity to talk to some of them on the phone. And I actually dated a couple guys that I actually had a chance to date a couple guys, and one of the guys, he was a nice guy, but he just wasn't for me. But some of the guys, I could tell just by their conversation. Just talking to these guys. And I could tell just by the way, their conversation and by the way they was talking, that I was like, oh, no, I don't think so. I could tell just by some of the things they were saying in their conversation. or this the way they was talking, they wasn't sounding right, and that's just over the phone. So you could talk to the guy. You know, if I say that if you take your time, if you're a woman and you meet a man and you take the time to really get to know the man without sleeping with him, don't sleep with him, and just take the time to really get to know the guy, that man will tell you everything that you need to know. He will tell you everything that you need to know about him. But you got to give it time. See, time is very crucial. You have to take the time to get to know the guy. And just keep talking to him without sleeping with him, because when you sleep with somebody, it clouds your judgment. You don't want to do that, because if you jump in the bed with a man too fast, what'll happen is it'll cloud your judgment. And you won't, women, we're emotional. Sex is emotional to a woman, whereas to a man it's more of a physical act. To a woman, sex is emotional. So when it's more of an emotional act for us than it is a physical. So particularly if a woman is looking for love, if she's looking for a husband, if she's not just looking for some fly by night fling, but she's looking for a mate. She's looking to secure a mate, a husband, so to speak. And if she's looking for that type of relationship, then she's gonna be emotionally invested in that sexual encounter. I don't care what nobody say. And particularly if she's initially attracted to the guy, really attracted to the guy. So what happens is if you sleep with the guy too soon, it'll cloud your judgment, and you won't see the things that you probably need to see. Because a lot of guys are crafty. They go to bed with you. They say certain things to you. Some guys know that I'm going to get a little raw here, so bear with me. Some guys know that if they put it on you real good, they figure I'll put it on her real good, and I'll say some key things to her, and I'll put it on her real good, and I'll have her in the palm of my hands. So a lot of guys think that way. I fell for that one time myself years ago. So I know what I'm talking about. I speak from experience. So a lot of guys figure, I'll do this and I'll do that sexually, and then I'll say some things, I'll put it on her real good, and then I'll say some things, and I'll have her, she'll be eating out of the palm of my hands. And so this is why, as a woman, you do not want to just jump into bed with a guy. I say, being a Christian, that you need to wait till marriage. That's what the Bible say. Jehovah God puts that command in the Bible that we need to abstain until marriage. I highly recommend that you do that. But if you don't want to do that, then you need to take the time to get to know this guy. And while taking the time to get to know him, you should not, under any circumstances, go to bed with a guy, because it will cloud your judgment, and he will try to cloud your judgment through having. That's why I think a lot of times guys want to hurry up and have sex with a woman, not just for the physical thing, but because of a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them, if they want to get you to a certain place emotionally. If they want you to have a certain amount invested in them emotionally, then they're going to want to have sex with you as soon as possible, so they can put it on you real good, and they can smooth talk you and all this kind of stuff. And the combination of both of those things, they have you hook, line, and sinker. So at that point, your judgment is going to be clouded, and you are not going to see the things that you need to see in that guy. And that's a problem. And this is why it's very vital that as a woman, you don't just jump into bed with a guy. You take the time to get to know him. But in time, as you're taking the time to get to know him, in time, you will find out almost everything you need to know about the guy. First of all, do that initial background check. Do that off rip. Then after that, go through the process, go through the dating process, go through the process of getting to know the guy. Don't let the guy come to your house. Don't let him, because if you have children, do not let him come to your house right away. During the process of you getting to know the guy, don't let him to your house right away. Don't let him come to your house until you thoroughly get to know him. You can meet him in a public place. You guys can meet at a neutral location. There's lots of places out there where you guys can meet, restaurants. He doesn't necessarily have to be coming to your house. You could talk to him on the phone. And nowadays we have the technology of all kinds of technology with our smartphones, computers. You could Skype them. You guys could talk on the phone. You could email. You could send text. Okay, that's the modern technology. And you can meet in a public place. He doesn't have to be coming to your house. You don't even have to do that. Until you feel fully comfortable and you fully get to know this man and make sure that this man is going to be even fit to be around your kids. See, not everybody is fit to be around your kids. You can't just bring any kind of man around your kids. You have to be careful the type of men that you bring around your children. I'm a single mom myself, so I'm not in the world anymore. So I don't date. I don't do worldly dating anymore. But when I was very careful about the type of guys that I brought around my kids. I didn't just bring any guy around my kids, and so particularly when I was doing online dating, I would meet the guy. I met a couple of guys in public places. You think I was going to let him come to the house? No way. I didn't even tell them where I lived. I met them in a public place. Okay? Yeah, it was a couple guys I dated, and one of the guys I didn't date, I met him in a public place, and I didn't really like what I seen. I'm not going into all that. That was a no after that one. But another guy I met in a public place, and when we went to the restaurant and all that kind of stuff. He didn't come to my house, nor did he meet my kids. I was a little nervous on that date, so that guy probably thought I was some kind of a weirdo, but I never heard from him after that. Well, I wasn't interested in him anyway. Hold on, I gotta plug up my computer. I wasn't interested in him anyway, so, oh well. But, like I was saying, meet the guy in the public place. That's what you do. This is very, very powerful. You take the time to get to know the guy before you bring him around your kids. Do not just bring random guys around your kids, ladies. Don't do it. I know you're lonely. I've been a single mom many years myself. I know it's hard. I know it's lonely. It's very lonely. And I know you ladies are lonely. In most cases, you're looking for a husband. You're looking for that companionship. You're looking for a husband. But notice I said looking. That's the problem right there. The first problem is you looking. You need to stop looking. Just recently they said Steve Harvey, on Facebook, I was reading that Steve Harvey gave that recommendation to women to stop looking. He's right. I agree with Steve Harvey. He's absolutely right. Stop looking. The Bible says a man that finds a wife finds of a good thing. Not a woman that finds a husband finds a good thing. So, first of all, you're messing up right there if you're looking. You're messing things up right there by looking. I'm going to do a part 2 to this video. Because it's time running out of time. I'm cut it short. Do a part 2. Sweet June. Stay tuned.